Hi, this is Veronica Dees, owner-operator of Ravenel Services, LLC. Listen out for me on WDAP Radio Speaker.com on Sundays. Hello, my name is Veronica Dees, owner-operator of Ravenel Services, LLC, with two locations, which one is a home base at 18 Fairfield in Buffalo, New York, and the commercial building at 1317 Main Street in Niagara Falls, New York. We've been in service for 12 years. Full charge bookkeeping for profit and nonprofit organization. Our mission is striving for you to take back financial control. We also service in budgeting, tax preparer, which is for personal and corporate tax, which include corporate tax, S-Corp, partnership, 1040 non-resident, and 990s, sales tax, withholding tax, New York State Notary, 501c3 setup, corporation setup, and LLC setup, for-profit and nonprofit organizations. We like to be informative to the community and consumer that comes in our office. We like to educate you as long as we continue to do your service for you, so you can go back stronger in knowledge and financing and how to empower yourself to become better than you were before. So today, since this is the first time I've ever done this, and I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time, I'm going to talk about one thing that means more to me than anything, and it should mean something to you. And we don't talk about it because we don't like someone to tell us what to do. But since we all in our own little private home, and we can just ponder on what is being said, let's talk about budgeting. Why budgeting is so important. It is important because it shows you the income and the expenses that's going out your house. Now, think about it. Every person that worked for someone else, they look every year to see what income came in and what expenses go out. That means that for every employee, they're looking to see what was best for them, that worked for them, and what was cost effective, that they can continue to give you different benefits. So if your benefits has changed, or it has they have critiqued itself a little bit, or they've taken away or added more, it's because at the end of that year, or within that period that they have chosen, they have decided what benefits they're going to give to you. So when you are receiving different information or packets from your employee, because as an employer, from your employer, they're wanting to see what they're going to give their employees as far as what they budget will allow them to. So if your employer is watching over their finances, why you can't watch over your finances? That's the question. So now we as individuals, sometimes we don't maintain our household effectively because we go beyond our borders of what we can and cannot afford. So when you think about it, all the income that's coming in your house, and no matter what it is, Social Security, working, retirement, whatever you consist of, your job or whatever, take every income together and say, okay, this is the dollar amount that I receive per month. And as you calculate that, now you can go and say, okay, let me think about the expenses that's going out each month. So our major expenses, which everyone should know, is our mortgage or our rent. Because we got to have somewhere to lay our head and have a covering over our head for the year. So that should be the first thing that should be paid. But we know that majority of the time that might be the last on our list, but it's the most important that should be on your list. And the second thing that should be important in your list is gas and electricity. I want to keep warm, and I need electric to see in the house, or the lights. And also too, you need lights You need the electric to keep the gas going. If you have those new little stove or those little appliances, they need both of them to work together. So that is also important. So, hey, we already recognize rent or mortgage is important. National fuel is important. Your electricity important. What's the next thing that's important? The next thing is important is telephone. We need a telephone to see, to make sure that we receive phone calls to our job, to our children's school, to the doctor. We need a telephone, so that's important. Now, what type of plan you have, you can always critique it if that's something that you need. Because sometimes, majority of us now, we know we carry the cell phones. And we carry the cell phones, and sometimes our plan is crazy. But sometimes you have to look at that cell phone and say, do I need that? Did I need that iPad? Did I need that? Well, all those little gadgets and stuff like that, Sometimes you have to ask yourself that. And I don't know them all, because guess what? I keep a basic phone so I can receive phone calls and texts. Facebook too, but I don't try to have it too expensive, because, be honest with you, I won't pay that bill like that every month. I want to make sure that I'll be able to receive my phone calls. And some of us has landline. There's nothing wrong with landline. You may need it for internet. But whatever it is, always look to see what is your plan, to see if you can critique it to make it go down. Also too, what's another major thing? Food. We all have to eat. So you gather of what your likes and dislikes are, and then what you need and what you don't need, and what you utilize and what you don't utilize. How do you do that when you just say food? Make a list. Make a list before you go to the store of, okay, that's the list that I have. So since we don't have time to do all that, let's just let me bring it down to a narrow perspective of your rent need to be paid. Your gas need to be paid. Your electricity need to be paid. Your phone and your food, your food. So if you say, okay, I use $100, let's say $100 for food. Also to make sure you add on to the supplies. What's the supplies? Laundry detergent, Windex, whatever that is to keep your house clean and keep the house flowing. That's the most important expenses you have. And I know some of y'all going, well, what about my car? I'm glad you asked. There's also something in budgeting, we're going to get into that, is the percentage of what you spend for your housing and also to your car. So let's just say your car is important too. But remember, when you look for the car, what you're paying per month, please add the insurance and add the gas. Because that's important too, that if you have the car note, and the car note, I'm just going to say $400, your insurance is $150, and then there's the gas to come with it. Wow, that's expensive when you add it all up in those three in one little category. So the first five I said: rent, gas, electric, food. What else? I forgot. What other one? Yeah, I know which one I said. Add that up first, subtract it from the income. Then after you have that balance, then take your car with the other three major components, subtract it. You still have probably a little bit more income for that month. And I know you're saying, wow, it looks easier on paper that I can see that I have more than I've had in my hand. The reason why is because we mostly spend out for entertainment, but haven't put entertainment down. What's part of entertainment? You know that little Tim Horton coffee you go and get every morning, and you do that 5 or 7 days a week. When you add that up, that's $5. Let's say $5 a day. And from that week, it is $25. I mean, not 25 or $35 if you go all 7 days. And then if you times that by 4, wow, you done already spent over $100, and you didn't even realize that $100 was gone that fast. But you see how quickly we can recognize some of the things that we fall into by keeping a simple budget, and how important it is to keep you afloat in our everyday needs. So this is why when I decided to open up Ravenel Services, or I should say when God had planted in my heart to do this service to the community. He also wanted me to educate each and every one that I come in contact with, to show them that you can make it under any circumstances. You got to be willing to follow different tools to help you maintain. I remember when I was younger, my mother used to always say, I will give you the necessary tools that you can make it on no buy something from the secondhand store to get you through, but guess what? It got us through. But also too, it also helped us save a quarter or two, or a dollar or two, or $3 or two for the various emergency expenses that may come upon you. So when that surprise come, you ain't too surprised, because now you have the extra to pay on it without going out your household. How important that is that now, if I keep a budget, when an emergency happen, I have enough funding in my own savings that I can get my own self out of whatever the emergency is, besides going outside your household. You know how it is when we say we grown. I always say you ain't grown enough until you learn not to go outside your household for somebody else to help you. That means you was willing to have enough patience with yourself to get your household in order to make sure you're able to run it. Because we say we grown, but let a hardship come or a need come, we go outside our household so fast to have somebody else help us without doing the necessary steps of being patient and viewing exactly what is coming in and what is going out of our household. So I know some of y'all probably grabbed some paper and said, that may be good. Guess what? Because I had to do the same thing myself. I even though I have been doing accounting and went to school for accounting for these last 30 years, I also got hooked up on different things of, I want this now, not next week, not next month, now. And when you have that now attitude, you go through that now transgression of, I don't have enough. And when you have children, you have needs, and children have needs, and it just ain't working together, come back and say, okay, how can I budget myself to make sure I meet the need of me and I meet the need of my family, so we all can prosper at the same time. So that is part of Ravenel Services, is educating and learning how to conversate and understand where other has been, because guess what? The owner of the service have been in the same predicaments. So I'm a little kind-hearted and a little softer than, and understand a lot better by someone that is going through various things that come in their life. And we're understanding, we're loving for that. And it's not phony. It's not phony. It's real, that I don't mind sharing my own testimony of how I have overcome and accomplished various things by doing one thing, and that's a budget. It's a word we don't like to hear, but it's also necessary for us to take place in our everyday life. So I'm sure y'all done got the pen out and added some things up and calculated a little bit and maneuvered some stuff. And you said, wow, I'm ready to go to the next step. So what's the next step? Before we go any further, make sure you have enough funding to pay for life insurance and rental insurance. So if you're a renter, have rental insurance. Why is that important? If a fire, if anything burn out, but the fire is on you, or something happened, or water damage, whatever, or a tree fall, because now with all these strong winds we're getting, something happened, and it happens to the house that you don't own, and you don't have no rental insurance, your landlord don't have to give you any money to cover that. But if you had a little renter's insurance, which doesn't cost much, you can pick back up from where you left off and maneuver a lot easier than not having it. And plus, too, far as death, if anything happened, that's something that's important. Life insurance. Life insurance is important because we never know when we're going to go. So that also should be added to your budget. I know we have the new things of GoFundMe or someone to help me or whatever, but you take that small dollar amount and pay for insurance just enough to cover you. It's not expensive that people would believe they are. Don't get me wrong. Burying somebody is expensive, but you also can have various packages to help you accomplish the goal that is needed without going outside your household. So that's always important to try to get that necessary tool is insurance, renter insurance and life insurance, to make sure that you're able to accomplish anything that comes your way, any hardship that comes your way. You are already protected, and you are already is ready for the different things that we have to face in this thing we call life. So get that ready, get that in. If you don't have it, find the next person, find the next insurance person that you can get in contact with to say, hey, I needed some insurance. Oh, you may can't afford whole life right now. Okay, that's fine. Whole life, I think, start at $5,000 or maybe $10,000. It depends on where you go. And then also too, you can do term life. If you need term life just a little bit, just to get you started, but get something that you're able to have coverage if anything happened to you or inside anybody that lives inside your household. So that's one thing that I just wanted to touch on. It's just small basis of a budget. Are we going to come back to it? Yes, we're going to come back to it. What you can do, if you have any more questions, or if you have anything else that intrigued you, you can always reach me at Buffalo office is 716-240-1960. Again, 716-240-1960. Or you can hit my Niagara Falls office at 578-8800. Again, 716-578-8800. And if you are an internet person, you can always go to my website at ravenelservices.com, or my email, which is ravenelservices@gmail.com, ravenelservices@gmail.com. So, what other things I wanted to talk about that's intriguing to you now in this season? I know what you're saying, taxes. What about the taxes? Everybody asking about that. Let me tell you, the best thing and the most important thing that you need to do is to make sure you have enough withholdings taken out your paycheck. So you say, what's withholdings? The W-4 that you filled out, that's for federal. And the, IT 2104, that's for state. Make sure you take out enough withholding, so no matter what the government does to change within the season, because this season, everybody knows the exemptions is off the table. What is the exemptions? Well, first of all, there was a standard deduction that we always get, and we still get it, and they rose that up this year. And I believe, I'm just talking off my head, I believe singles in is $12,000, marriage is $24,000, head of household is $18,000. So that's automatically off your taxes unless you have to itemize. But there used to be an exemption, which you receive another $4,050 per person. So if you had your husband, and 2 kids, it was $4,050 times 4. So that's off the table. And a lot of people is being affected because that is off the table and that little cushion is gone. But if you would have took the time out to make sure you had enough withholding taken out, you wouldn't be afraid to see if you owe or not. So what's the difference? This is the difference. If you made $40,000, you should have 10% taken out of your paycheck. So $4,000. So I made $40,000. I took $4,000 out for my withholdings for federal. I'm good. You're good. And so no matter what else transpired, you're good because you get your deduction. Plus 2, you took out enough withholdings. So you should be at a comfortable level that when they calculate, you don't owe. Well, also too, state. As we know, state is 8.75%. When you're a state, you fill out for your state, make sure you take out enough. At the bottom, it don't have to be the 10%, but you at least have to be 7%. Okay? 7% for state to make sure you come to a comfort zone that you do not owe the government for that season. So that's the main thing, and hold like a torch. Make sure you take out enough withholding. So if you have your W-2 now, you ain't filed your taxes, go to your box 1. Box 1 tells you exactly how much money you made. And then go to your box 2 to see is it even or a little bit more than what you actually made. If you have those two, and you're good to go. But if you made more and you took out less, you wavering. And I know a lot of people say, well, I got the kids, that's going to save me. Stop right there. Make sure you take out enough to so you won't have any surprises. Because if anybody don't know, if you make over that $32,000 mark, all that EIC credit and all the rest of that stuff is some of that is off the table or is less. Okay, so you want to make sure you are covered at all times. So at all times, make sure your withholdings is enough taken out. If you need to go to your employer on Monday, go and say, hey, I need the federal form and I need the state form to change my taxes. If you have your dollar amount taken out or your percentage taken out correctly and you still fall behind and owing, what you can do is ask them, hey, can you take out another $5 or can you take out another $10? That whole form and I know they give you questionnaires on the form and say, okay, they ask us this question. If you have more than one job, click this. If you had to click and you add it up and they say, oh, okay, our exemption should be on that piece of paper, that form, they say 3 or 4. You don't have to fill all that out. You can go right down to that bottom box where it say, what are you claiming? Claim what you need to, single or married, take out more withholdings as a single person, or married, enough so your withholdings will be in a safe zone area, I'll call it, that you won't owe the government for this season or seasons to come. So if you already did it, as we know, it's already 2018 is already gone. So your 2019 will already be affected, but you have enough time to catch up your 2019 for your filing of 2020. So we highlighted on the withholdings. What else I want to highlight on? Savings. That's another one of my desires I like to teach and I like to educate the consumer is savings. And I know you're saying, wow, it was hard to save. Yeah, it is hard to save, but there is a program out there. And I say program, or go on a website where it's $1 a week saving. Anybody see it? And it's an easy where the beginning of the year, and I know the beginning of the year is gone, but the beginning of the year, on that Friday, is $1. So the first Friday of the beginning of whatever year is $1. The second Friday, $2. The third Friday, $3. And you keep going. You keep going and add up. So each Friday that comes, you take that money and you save it to yourself. Wow, I know you're saying that's the slow way, but sometimes people have a hard time of saving just doing the basics. So if you say, well, you know what, Veronica, $1 is too low for me. I want to do $5. You can recalculate however you want to, but the object of the game is to save, and you saving something every week or every month to make sure you have enough money for what? For an emergency. So if you do the $1 a week saving plan, at the end of the year, you have $1,387. And I know for some people that's a lot. So some people that's low. But whatever your comfort zone is, because one thing about a budget and a saving is for the consumer within that household, not, across the board. It's just for that individual household or that individual person that this worked for them, not for everybody. But the basic concept will work for everybody, because guess what? It'll keep you and teach you how to survive and how to maintain different struggles and hardship in this everyday world, in this everyday life. So since we talked about, guess what? Budget. Second one, withholdings. Third one is savings. Do me a favor. Reach out to Ravenel Services, LLC, Veronica Dees, locations at 1317 Main Street. 1317 Main Street in Niagara Falls, New York, which is the commercial building, or the home base at 18 Fairfield in Buffalo, New York. Also, too, the phone numbers for Buffalo, 716-240-9160. Again, 716-240-9160. Or 716 for the Niagara Falls, 578-8800. 716-578-8800. You also can go and find me on my website, which is ravenelservices.com, or email me at ravenelservices@gmail. I would love to hear from you to see if I had touched some bases that you was concerned about. If you're interested, if you have a question, by all means, reach out and see and contact my office. Me or Deborah would love to assist you and help you and answer whatever questions we have. And like I said, not only we do profitable, but also not-for-profits. We're going to have an awesome conference coming up, which is going to take place October 24th, 25th, 26th. Keep those dates in mind. If you're far away, maybe you want to fly in, surprise me. Again, it is October 24th, 25th, 26th. We're going to have an awesome speaker come from Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Carlos Spencer. Again, Carlos Spencer will be there that Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m. promptly. And then that Friday night, we're just going to have a musical. And we're going to worship and pray to God and recognize him that he is truly the head of our life for Friday night. And then that Saturday, it is going to be myself and Tony Dubois. She's going to be doing the topics on insurance, and I'm going to be doing the finance piece. I hope you're interested. Come on out. We will look forward to seeing you, fellowshipping with you. I look forward to feeding you because I'm going to have food. But also, to the main thing, I look forward to worshiping and praising God those 3 days, because that's what Ravenel Services was based on and built on, is biblical principles, and also to listening to what the voice of the Lord had to say to me, in my life and to my business, to help others. And I know you say, oh, are you just for religion? Nope, not just for religion. Everybody can come, because no matter who it is, I can teach and I can love you up. And if you stay, you stay. If you don't, I'm going to pray for you, and we're going to keep on going. Again, this is Veronica Dees coming from WDAP Radio. Speaker.com, giving you information about finances. We plan on being here every Sunday talking about a few topics. But if you hit me back, I wouldn't mind answering what you have and what you need to prepare you for anything that comes your way. So you said, well, Veronica, I got some questions about sales tax. By all means, tell me, answer a question for sales tax, how to get sales tax exemption. That's part of corporate. And anybody know that has a business that's out there, you have to pay sales tax, and you have to pay it quarterly. You may say, well, I have a withholding tax question. By all means, call. I'll give you the withholding tax information. Those have to be filed quarterly too. And if you haven't filed your taxes, by all means, call my office. If you know you're not going to be ready by that golden day in April, make sure you get an extension. Get an extension out there to make sure that you are covered for the next 6 months before you filed your taxes. So the IRS won't send you no penalty letter, because you know they love to send you out a penalty letter from here and there. I'm just joking. But again, I thank you for tuning in at WDAP Radio Speaker.com to Veronica Dees, owner operator of Ravenel Services LLC, striving for you to take back financial control. Again, hit me up at ravenelservices@gmail.com, ravenelservices@gmail.com, or Ravenel Services RavenelServices.com. I probably messed it up a little bit, but you know what I mean. RavenelServices.com, RavenelServices.com, or RavenelServices@gmail. Phone number 716-240-9160, 716-240-9160, or 716-578-8800, 716-578-8800. Thank you for tuning in at WDAP Radio Speaker.com.
WDAP Radio, taking